He's retarded. Yes! Bravo! Bravo! You the man, bitch!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 15 of the Record Around podcast. This is a podcast in which we talk about topical matters in the world of RRs. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm back. I know it's only been one podcast, but that equivalents to 3 months, so it's been a long enough break for me. Batman isn't here, thank God, but we have our other regulars, everyone's favorite Distantia representative, Kazmik.
Hey, it's me.
We have everyone's favorite fella, Maximum 50.
Hey.
Boo!
And then for our guest, Batman made a Twitter thing because certain people don't know how to organize a podcast.
User
Coughing
in your
at
channel
Oblivion to
timed
you.
out.
Who just timed out?
It's
It was
Jake.
Jake. He'll be back. So we have everyone's second favorite Distantia representative, Schupter.
Hello.
We have the man who's in every single recorder round of all time, Paradot Knight.
Call me SX.
We have everyone's favorite streamer, the Sonic Joey. We have the lean, mean chicken nugget machine, Jacob, but he's kind of timed out, so.
You forgot someone.
We have everyone's favorite penguin, Frigid.
Oh my god, it's me.
And then we have Bobby.
Excuse me?
All right, so I assume Jake's gonna come back, but
Who knows?
in the meantime, we'll just get started. He's only gonna be missing a bit of the RR roundup, I guess. This isn't gonna be as big of an RR roundup as it was last time. This hopefully won't take that long. But let's start with
11 rounds.
yeah, that's better than what it was last time, I think.
How many was last time?
It was like 20 or something. There was a lot to cover.
All right, so let's start with Cataclysm Season 10. This was an anniversary season. They made the intro look like the Season 1 intro. I thought it was a pretty good season. I liked it.
Wait, was it an anniversary or a celebration?
It was an anniversary, wasn't it?
No, it didn't start in like January. Like
There's
it
a
was
big
season.
distinction there.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Well, an anniversary is like an exact date, but a celebration
Yeah.
is like, hey, we're just
Celebration.
trying
Oh,
to...
like
you know
10
why? Because
seasons.
it was just Season 10.
Yeah, like Frenzy 10 was a celebration.
But it wasn't an anniversary.
All right, on to the next round.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
not done.
Well, Kata 10 was a pretty good season. In my opinion, it was one of the most entertaining Kata seasons in a while. It definitely is up there with Season 8 for me in terms of like good quality stuff. Was quite impressed with it. Fun to watch.
Who
Good
won
intro.
that?
Perp,
Gas and
Gas.
Sentient.
Putonan and Doratas.
except Perp was the last one alive, and he was on like kind of like lowish health. no
He
healing, so.
nearly fucking lost at the last minute. As
Oh
well.
yeah, no, he did. Yeah, no, Lachlan meleeed him. Lachlan was on like 1 heart, and he got perped from like 8 hearts to like 2 hearts.
Oh,
Or something.
Yeah,
Lachlan was a
Lachlan
money man.
fucked him so hard. That was
Yeah.
a crazy
And
last fight.
Anyone see A-Rod pop off randomly for no reason?
Yeah, it was a celebration, not an anniversary.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Celebration
Thank
for
you,
A-Rod.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. We're talking like February 28th, 2015 versus like October 31st, 2017.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's a
difference.
Halloween season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Any round released in October is a Halloween special.
Interesting,
Fuck.
interesting.
Happy Halloween, Perp Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to classification
Good one.
season 2.
Shaden
Nice.
Ellie was in that.
Oh, Shaded Alley.
Was he?
Yeah.
Alright, that deserves a round
He
of applause.
killed Maxa, I think.
Yeah, he killed Maxa with 30 cats. So, shout out, dude.
And Max, you're also in it.
I teamed with
Yeah,
Shade
Max.
Nelly, fun fact.
Max,
of the
you
day.
can,
How
Max,
was
you
it?
can, Max, you can talk about this.
Okay,
This is year
this
one.
is indeed a recorder on I played. I subbed for it. You're not going to see me in more classifications, but you know,
Oh, it's a shame.
I had a fun time playing with this one. It was like kind of a mole's spin. So the moles were set like normally in stuff start of episode 2, but you were given kits. But you weren't given a choice. It was just one kit, and you had to use that kit to kill your teammates. If you were going to kill them, you had to use your kit.
I wasn't too keen on that ruling, to be honest.
I don't even know if it had much of an effect on the
It was a
game.
gentleman's agreement.
but-
not a
How many
rule.
episodes did it last?
I think it went into episode 10 in the actual game,
Oh,
but they
man.
narrowed it down to 9 in the recording
That's
and
still
uploading.
not good.
No, the what kind of happened was there wasn't a
The
lot of
finale is
action up
episode
until meetup, and then at meetup nobody wanted to fight each other, and because it was like an awkward like Mountain 0-0 thing where everybody was like, "Oh, I don't want to fight a team," so the game ended up being like 3 hours long.
Who ended up winning? actually?
Mr. Cool on Half a Heart.
Nice.
Sounds like a
Nice
classic
clutch.
Arctic game.
Alright, you can hear me.
guys.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's as far as like what could be classified as like quote unquote
Get
season
it?
1
I
rounds.
get it.
I
Get
think
it.
it's. I didn't even intend that, but yeah.
I
As
did
far-
it too.
Thank you.
Oh, guys,
Um,
bad fans here.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh fuck. Oh no.
I'm changing
Oh,
the
shit.
cast.
As
Everyone
far
act
as what
natural.
you could say are season 1 rounds, I think it's pretty good. Like
It's
no
season
bias
2 maps.
intended. If season 2 didn't take as long, I think it would have been a pretty nice
internet for
season,
that.
and I think they've got a good future ahead of them.
I'm glad they like stuck around instead of like ditching after season 1.
Yeah, honestly, I think season 1 was pretty good. Like, I doubt many people watched season 1, but it wasn't a bad.
I still
season.
have a bit of a sour
Wasn't
taste
sure.
after their weird trailer shenanigans.
Yeah.
Where they released a trailer to the sub before they even recorded the season.
So the roster was like
That
really off.
surprised me because the trailer was like, I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. The trailer was
You
pretty
stop
bad,
it,
but the
man.
intro came out and that was really good.
Yeah,
Intro
intro
was
was pretty
incredible
good.
for
Really
season
surprised
1.
Wait, can I ask the classification season 2 intro? Why did they start in like a what was up with that? I don't.
I have no idea
Yeah,
what
that
the
intro
inspiration was,
Oh, it was pretty cool though.
but
That
it was
reminded
made by
me
Evan
of
Sciencey.
with the ends. Good intro.
I think that might have been his best one.
It was probably his best. I haven't seen a
Who
lot
made
of
that?
Evan's work.
Evan with
the
Qs.
ends.
Or Evan with the ends, yeah.
Evan with the ends. Evan with the Q.
And
You
the
get the
Q.
idea.
There's also an E.
Sorry, it's also an E.
It's Evan with the E, the V, the Q, the ends. You get the
A
idea.
traditional spelling of Evan. Except with the Q.
Okay, so we're done with classification. Let's move on to simplistic season 2.
You
One
know,
second. There's shared work going on.
I wasn't a big fan of the intro for this one, but
it was basic, but it served its purpose.
Honest,
it was a pretty simple intro.
It was-
so.
I don't have anything to say about simplistic
I
really
didn't
at all.
watch
Just
it,
everything was
so-
I mean,
Simple.
everything was just kind of, it was alright.
Wasn't
Like,
the ending like with the team with a lot of poison pods?
Yeah.
That's
Butterball
always
and
not the
Elton
case.
John.
That's
I-
a classic. That
I
is
had an
a
issue with
classic.
it. In
That
season
being-
1, there was a person named Daryl Dawson, but I didn't
Oh.
see where he went.
I was talking to Dawson about that, like when around the time when Simplistic 1 came out, and I was like, Dawson, like, why didn't you upload? And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. I just didn't want to do it. Okay.
Yeah, Bobby, that
So-
sounds like someone else we know, doesn't it?
Oh,
Wow.
Shut up.
Stop.
Wow.
Stop.
I was
do-
not
we do-
referring to Brick.
just be-
I was talking
Who-
about Vitex.
Who the fuck
You-
else
just
would
be just be glad Bad Fun's not here. He'd be so angry.
Alright. I wasn't too happy with one of the team names.
Which
But
one?
yeah.
Paradox the Hoe.
Was that Megan's team?
Yeah, that was Megan's team.
You just straight up got called out.
Flurry, Mythical, Jay's Eyes, and Warrior Cat. What the hell?
And that's the Paradot Hate Squad right there.
I don't know anything about this recorded run except Megan destroyed Major Wolf.
Okay, I do
Oh,
have to give.
and
I do have
stop
to give.
Megan got a
um,
nasty on but one.
I'm sorry.
I do have to give a big shout out though to Winter Waffle for organizing it and picking it up because although it's kind of hard to tell what goes on behind the scenes, I think he did a pretty good job with putting this together.
Yeah, it was
seems
originally
pretty professional, entertaining stuff. It wasn't anything super, but he seemed to do everything he could to make it work. And
I mean, he's
respect that.
organizing 2 rounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was organized by James originally, right? Like Dr. James.
Yeah.
This dollar bill is dry.
What? What are you
What?
R/ not interesting.
Thank you, Virgin.
R/ out of the loop.
But yeah, it was organized by James, and then James kind of left the community, but he's back, kind of.
Kind of.
And then Winter was like, I don't want this round to die, so I'm gonna organize it. And
yeah,
now he's doing
respect to
good.
Winter. Good
Yeah.
for him.
All right,
Shut up.
so let's move on to a big boy round.
What?
Big boy.
I can't say. I'm kidding. Phobia 11
Oh.
with the super spooky intro.
Casmate, you were there.
shut up.
Talk
I
about
was
it.
I was in this one.
Wasn't
I was there
spooky?
too.
Oh, yeah, you were there
Yeah,
too,
me
Perry.
too.
But you didn't do much.
Yeah, I didn't do much.
Your
No
teammate
offense.
had one of the most iconic deaths of the season, though.
Yeah.
so that's
Huh.
good.
Yeah,
Fuck.
when someone dies to fire in a water-based game mode, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was getting chased by a cave spider, then walked into fire.
You know, bad
Anyway,
died to
Dom-
fire in the
Dom,
ice
I didn't-
season.
Tom, I didn't really watch that much of Phobia, but I heard you kick some ass.
Oh, he
I would
popped
just
off.
like to make you all aware that the teams were based off of tiers, and I was the low tier member of my team,
And you
We
were
were
with
tier 3,
Finn,
right?
and I was with Thin, yes, and he died in the first fight, and I killed I killed
Speedo
Scrib, Speedo, and Fairy.
Scribbler though. Dibbler.
If it wasn't for
Yeah,
Scrib,
but-
I would have died so hard.
Who won? C-Man and Leon won that, right?
No,
No,
Fukano, with
No,
just
Fukano
Fukano
one
won half a
victory.
heart. Fukano and Frost Breath.
Oh, they checked that out.
I thought it was
for
pretty
so
good
long.
ending.
Hey Max, can you stop talking over me?
Am I? I'm sorry. Listen, you've got a little bit of a shy voice. It's hard to make out in such a big channel.
I'm sorry, there's yard work going on, Max.
Okay,
Listen,
but
I'm sorry.
I thought it was that was a pretty good season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
Some of the
I-
newcomers, Oblivion TU, were kind of confusing, but I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
I think they
Bliv,
had
Bliv was
they
a
had
Bliv
next
was a Bliv was a sub.
Leto,
Yeah.
Leto, if you looked closely in the intro, you did see Mr. Team Raven.
I don't know. Wait,
God.
no, he's just. Okay, can we talk about that team and how they died, please?
That was really stupid.
Fucking
Can we talk
Kevin
about their
goes boating
footage?
off, and just Raven did not place water.
Yeah, Raven didn't place water, then Raven killed himself.
I saw that team and I was so excited to watch them. And then Raven
Why?
Raven uploaded all of his episodes late, and then Bitexel like kind of half uploaded late sometimes. And
Yeah,
then
that's the
their
story of
footage
his life right there.
their
Classic
footage was
Kevin.
just them skybasing and building some penises out of snow and then boating down and dying.
I have a question.
So,
Who on that team was the tier 1?
Probably Raven.
Probably Raven.
Why?
Yeah.
I
Raven
genuinely-
doesn't play. Why would he be the
No,
tier 1?
Because it's
oh,
my
fuck.
pixel.
I can't see them being tier 1. I can't see them being tier 2.
Oh fuck! What was it? I'm trying to remember.
They
I
have to
don't
go to
think.
the-
I don't think they had. I genuinely don't know if they had tiers or not because
I th-
Bitexel like came back like after we did tier voting, I think. So he didn't have one, and I don't know where Raven was placed.
I
I
recall
genuinely have no
Crimson
clue.
saying in his commentary that Bitexel and Raven were like kind of a last minute team. Like
Yeah,
they
they were last
they,
minute.
they came after everybody else did, so that he just kind of put the two. Like I think he convinced Raven to play because he was teaming with Bitexel. So I don't
Yeah.
think he was intended to play in the first place. But yeah.
Some of the tiering choices I felt were a bit off. He was laggy, but I still feel like Crimson probably shouldn't have been a tier 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
could
would
see him
agree.
being like tier
I mean,
3
hey,
too.
he got
Minimum
kills, Dibs didn't get any, so
minimum tier 3. Absolutely minimum tier 3.
Minimum, yeah.
Tier 4 absolutely not.
Some of
Yeah.
this, I mean, some of the team pairings are pretty interesting. Like, I think, like, I don't think I ever would have thought that Believe and DCF would have been a team.
yeah. There were
Like,
a lot- there were a lot
that
fun
kind of
ones.
team is like it's like the Jinko Nai combo we did. And it's-
Iconic.
That's an iconic combo, right?
Oh my god.
That's a classic.
I still love like
Yeah,
looking
classic.
back at like the montage or whatever. Every time Jinko got a kill in Ambition 17, I would just be like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad I'm teamed with such a good teammate. You're so good at the game."
Okay. Speaking of Nai, he completed No Nut November, so hats off.
Oh,
to him.
congrats.
Congrats,
Nai.
congrats.
Wow. What a hero.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't follow
Amazing.
Nai 200 on Twitter, now's the time.
You know what, I'm gonna do that right now.
Well, that probably
Alright.
concludes it for Phobia, unless people have
Alright,
more
we're
stuff to say
done
about
with
it.
Well,
Phobia.
I'm
11
looking at
we're
the
done.
posts, and they spelled Grey, Grey.
Thank
which
you,
is,
Bridget.
which is, wait, I'm not done. I'm not
Bridget,
done.
I don't.
No, I'm not done. It is a common spelling of Grey, although I prefer it with an A.
Thank you, Bridget. All right,
Okay.
we are now on to Walking the Plains 4.
Yeah,
Did any of us watch this?
it was
I
a thing
did
that
not.
happened. I didn't
I
watch
watched it. I know. I remember watching it.
Okay,
but I
thank
cannot.
God.
I
Was
this
remember
the
watching
one-
it. I remember
this the
watching,
one
but I
that
feel like you
Vicious
cannot
won?
tell you what happened.
Vicious has won both season
something?
3 and 4.
Wait, was this which one was the one he won before?
Spoilers.
I think the one thing I concluded from watching bits and pieces of Walking the Plains 4 is that Vicious should not play recorded rounds. I think that's what I've concluded.
Was
Why?
was this the one where he won before it, or was that the last one?
That was
That was the last one. He won.
Yeah.
before.
Okay, then I have
It's-
absolutely no
yeah.
idea.
Because
what
this one
happened.
was FFA.
Yeah, and the
Oh.
demos were Nightmare Mode and Stock Up.
Ah,
Sounds
nightmare
awful.
mode.
Max, what is funny about that?
There's a lot of funny things about that statement.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, wait. So wait. Why shouldn't Vicious play recorded rounds?
His perspective was kind of the epitome of the most scummy and unentertaining way you can play UHC possible.
Guys, please stop using this podcast as a platform to bully.
I'm not. I'm just saying why I didn't enjoy the season.
I just came
No.
back. What did I miss?
You're bullying.
Apparently,
We're all-
Vicious shouldn't play recording.
I mean, look,
We're all-
I don't mean
we're
to
all
call anybody out in
disliking his
particular.
videos.
I'm just saying that's partly why I found little interest in watching that season, was because it was just kind of like, you know, it was something that happened. It's like, okay, this guy's kind of steamrolling. He's kind of killing everybody. Because Walking the Plains is like a couple really good PvPers, which is like Vicious, like Big Z60, and like Pink. But
Yeah,
once you
compared
kind
to
of
others.
but once you kind of get those three out of the match, then it's like, you know, what competition do you really have?
Well, they
Yeah.
added Minecraft this season, and Lady, and
Okay,
Steve
and we have the Walking the
and then
Plains
MC
for-
Bama Black season 1, season 3, season
Frigid,
4.
Frigid,
No.
you were like this close, just being kicked out of the podcast.
Be glad Bad Fan
I
isn't
think
here.
Frigid is the best thing that has happened to this
Let
podcast.
It's well,
That's
you-
why I want to be.
Frigid
I-
is the best thing that's just happened. in general.
I'm unfortunately still underwhelmed by Walking the Plains because every single season they always underdeliver when it comes to game modes. They always just half-ass the game modes to the theme because they link the source material and I read it and I realize reading it through it doesn't fucking mean anything to the game mode. It's just they have not. I'm 100% stand by the fact that they have not done a game mode that's related to their theme ever.
There's vampires in the game.
They've done game modes where it's like this is kind of like this. Like I mean, if you take this part of the theme, then I mean, I guess it kind of makes this.
Oh wait, that's
they've
where
never-
they got Nightmare mode from. Vampires.
I don't think Nightmare mode has vampires in it, unfortunately.
Well, there's no vampires in Minecraft, so they have to make do with like Enderman spawning blazes.
I mean, I do agree with you. I think that there's definitely potential in there, and I think the roster they have honestly is pretty. You know, it's not bad for sure. I think they have a good compilation of players. I think it could be entertaining, but given the fact that they've established themselves with this concept, I think there's a lot more they can do with it. And I
They've
wish
got
they
it.
would
They have
capitalize
they
on
have a fantastic source material for making seasons and game modes,
No
but
offense to Bad
they
Fan,
don't.
but I kind of confused TGF with Walking the Plains, like not even 2 minutes
How
ago.
do you do that?
I don't know. They just have like similar names. To
They
me.
both
Do
have
they?
the in them.
Yeah, sure.
They both
Uh,
have the letter T.
All right, so we are now done. with Walking the
TGF does
Plains
not
4.
have Gavin.
Oh my god,
It's a province.
we're
on the
not going to talk
website.
about Incidendo 2.
Oh, I like the intro.
Ah,
There's a pretty funny team in that one.
Yeah, I
Which
played
one?
that.
Oh, you did, Joey?
Oh yeah, he did.
Joey, how was Incidendo 2?
You teamed with Mista.
I didn't like his art.
I enjoy 1.12, which is the reason I played it.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see a few 1.12 rounds out there, like because like eventually some people probably know that I don't really enjoy 1.8 PvP as much anymore. So like it's always nice to have a change of pace, and I think some people on Reddit can also agree that sometimes it's nice to have a change in something to watch. Like so. Like, obviously, 1.12 isn't everyone's favorite thing, but I think, like, seeing occasionally, like, with rounds like Cake Core and Incidendo, always nice to see for
It offers-
1.12 stuff.
It offers some more options for you to watch. Like, if you're into that stuff, then hey, there's a couple rounds out there that offer 1.12 seasons. So, on that note, I like and respect Incidendo because it's offering content to people who like 1.12 UHC.
I
But-
wasn't really entirely sure what happened after I died, but, like, I know that the ending dragged out for a fair while, I'm pretty
The
sure.
finale was really not good. In
Oh,
all
what
honesty,
happened?
it was about 20 minutes of like running and walling. Notably
The
by
finales haven't been the
Space
greatest the
Phoenix.
last two seasons, but, like... They've
Was
been,
this,
but the round in general was pretty good in my opinion. Like I enjoy.
I did quite enjoy.
enjoyed playing them. Just unfortunate that the endings haven't been too great.
I did quite enjoy watching the season, but then the ending really was it was an absolute slog. It was just like watching like, oh, they're still behind walls. One of them moved, the other one moved. They're in two different walls now.
I like the game mode they had. I
Yeah.
thought it was like unique.
Yeah, the game.
Oh, yeah, their
there
game was
was there were a bunch of good teams from a viewer's perspective. Thin and Sid was probably my favorite one to watch.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Joe and Mister
Really
was
wish
good.
I could have watched Broseph and Leonard.
I was restraining myself from saying it, and then you just said it.
Yeah, I really
So
liked-
wait,
I really like the game
didn't
mode.
they
Sorry.
both not upload?
They both didn't upload for various reasons.
Both
I'm
lost
like I
footage
know
apparently.
I know they said they both lost footage, but I'm sorry. I'm calling bullshit on at least one of them.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I'm starting some
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
revolutionary
pretty sure
news
Broseph
thing by
had-
saying this.
I'm pretty sure Broseph had like a legitimate reason though. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
no, Broseph lost footage for like all of his rounds
Yeah,
in
so
that time period.
I'll believe him.
Maybe it was just a long con.
Let's stray away from this topic.
Yeah.
He
It's
didn't
not-
want to upload Incidenta, so he deleted every round he had played around that time.
I mean, I did that for
Okay.
Lampoon Season 1.
What the fuck?
Alright,
Maximum
so,
50?
before we
Can you introduce the
continue,
next
I
one?
think Shay did that too.
Oh,
Before-
I would
before
love
we
to introduce the
continue-
next one.
Before we continue, Jacob cannot come back. His internet is killing
Oh,
itself, and he can't
no.
figure out how to fix it.
Oh.
We're gonna try and get Jake on another podcast because this is like the second time he hasn't been able to come on.
He was supposed to be here
guess-
for the intro makers one, so rest in peace.
So sorry,
I
Jake.
guess it's good that he didn't play the tournament thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
for
right. So who's introducing the next one?
Me,
All right,
raise his
introduce
hand.
it.
Okay, so next up we have the wonderful Recovery Season 4.
You mean the one Mr. Sonic fan won?
This
Did
is
Mr.
a,
Sonic
this
fan
is a,
win
this
that
is a
one?
hot debate on the internet.
No,
one
it's not.
Fubu one.
Oh, it is not a debate. Oh my
Sonic
god.
won.
He killed Pelargo. It said, "Congrats, you win." Then he burned to death.
I'm not going
They
to
wouldn't
state,
do that on a server that wasn't Arctic, though.
I'm not
Yeah,
It
going to
doesn't
state
matter. It was Arctic, so
Yes,
he
but
won.
it did do it.
I'm not going to state my stance on this because it's a very controversial topic, but
Just shut up.
Excuse me?
Why is
on-
it controversial? I think I watched the finale, but I wasn't entirely sure why
Okay,
it
It's
was
it's
one-
controversial because Sonic killed Pelargo, but then less than a second later, Sonic burned to death.
yeah, in
I
an
mean,
FFA.
Sonic was the last man standing. Like, if it was in a melee fight and it was like slain by that, like that's a ping.
Yeah, it wasn't
difference. If
slain
it's a
by- it
burn
was
to
slain
death
by the
thing,
bird.
then like that's just bad.
I
luck.
do like I do
But
I
he
Sonic should've-
died
I-
as a
Why are there so many
result of him
spoiler
being
tags in the
attacked.
Reddit post?
there was it was a very quick death, but I still do believe that there was a possible space for Sonic to put himself out. But
Yeah.
he didn't because he won.
Yeah, that's
I-
But
true,
in
like,
the case, I think the main thing that really distincts it was it even if they do die, was it possible for them to escape from it? If it was like immediately afterwards, the tick afterwards he burned to death,
I
it's
think it was
hardly
possible.
inescapable. But like if it's like a slain by, it's completely unavoidable.
I know that the main case for people saying that it should be a tie was the fact that we had something similar to this not too long ago with Phobia 10, except with the case there, it was Cass versus Short Gamer, and that was a 1v1 that they decided. On Short Gamer's team, there were still two other teammates alive,
Yeah.
and they kind of double killed. Short killed Cass. Short had the "you win" screen on his thing for a couple seconds, and then he burned to death. But they still credited Short as dead and gave Cass the kill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
Good.
just fun to give people kills.
I mean, it's that, and I think he would have won either way because he had two other teammates alive. So crediting him as dead wasn't changing anything. But that was a double kill, and it was also an Arctic, and they had the U wins. People were like, well, you know. But I think the official stance on it is that it's a tie. Like I think on the stats post, it's gonna be both of them won.
But whatever.
Whatever.
I don't
Good
think
call.
that should be a tie.
It was pretty overall, by the way. Pretty
work.
season. It was
Oh, yeah,
super
definitely,
entertaining,
yeah.
but-
Congrats to Flubel.
Can we talk about?
Yeah.
We're gonna go a little off topic, okay? But Mr. Sonic fan
No, we can't.
claims that this was his best intro of all time. Do we agree?
I liked it.
I'd
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Well,
Maybe
story
not all
5,
time, but I think it was up there.
Not
I
my,
don't
per-
think-
not
okay,
my
I don't
personal
think-
pick. But
I don't think it's best, but it's definitely his most creative.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I
truly
can agree with
I love
that.
it, but I think my
Very
favorite one will
creative.
always be Frenzy 9 because he copied Nuzlocke, and that takes some guts.
Yeah, no one.
Mr. Sonic fan. Mr. Sonic fan hits a stolen intro.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Great.
So we're
No.
gonna move on to something that I believe myself and Bobby can talk about.
What?
Survivor-
Why don't you have me and Chasmic talk about it?
Why would Kaz be able to talk about it?
I could
He's
kind of
playing.
talk about it.
You
I
played?
I was in it, you
He
cunt.
played.
Oh.
I think I
He
can
does
talk
it.
about it too.
I
I
was
was
a
a helper.
I was
Okay.
also
Okay.
pretty
So-
disappointed.
Chris
Max was a helper too. Why are you
I
leaving
could talk
everyone
about
but
it,
you
I
and
could talk
Bobby?
about it a
Because
little.
Bobby
Okay.
doesn't talk like it all this whole time.
That's true.
Anyway, so Survivor UHC, which stemmed from the original's UHC Survivor ambition.
You mean
Yeah, I
surviving
think everyone
Minecraft
copied
Island?
us.
Surviving
Yeah,
Minecraft
yeah,
Island.
yeah. None of the
Honey,
Survivor
was
stuff would have
robbed.
happened without us. So.
Good
I
Island.
think they took it from Survivor.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
not
sure.
sure. What you, I think Survivor.
Copyright
Island
infringement.
Took that from
All
Survivor.
right, I didn't play it, so everyone who did play it, talk about it, except for Frigid. Shut
So
up.
Can I
Bobby
say
and
one thing
Kazmik.
about- can I
It
say
was
one
fun.
thing about
I had a fun
Wait, let
time.
me say one
It-
thing
it
about
was
surviving Minecraft Island. They spoiled the final two in the intro. There's a picture of dude, and then the final two right next to him, and no one else has a render in the intro.
Thank you.
Right.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah,
Alright,
it
well,
was
continue.
fun. It was
We
definitely
can- yeah.
different from everything else that I've played Survivor-wise, seeing as it wasn't TeamSpeak, first of all. And
Mhm.
I found that
Wow.
it was hard making friends, not gonna lie, in TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you wanted to talk to someone, you were like, "Hey, buddy, follow me in this channel. We can't just walk away."
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about the Survivor is because it's hard. It was a lot harder to make alliances
I
because
think that was just kind of a necessity because that's the only way they could reliably record all the audio.
excuse me, have you not seen Surviving Minecraft Island? They used Mumble.
Okay, no, I did not watch that, so I guess
But
I'm wrong.
honestly,
Sorry.
they actually Surviving Minecraft Island actually did it pretty well with Mumble. They had multiple people flying around and making sure they were at least close to the people who were talking, and they captured pretty much everything they needed. But and so I feel like it could have been covered. It's just
Well, okay,
It-
the way Pi did it was different. He had a bunch of TeamSpeak bots that he just had recording every channel. And
Yeah,
I don't
which
know
is
if
pretty
he could have
smart.
done that with Mumble.
which I mean it does. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does
that's
it
a
well.
flashy pollution.
It does it. Yeah, it does it well. But
Flashy
this-
pollution.
it does it well, but it still means you have to clearly make it aware to the tribe. It's like, hello, me and this person are going to talk in private. We're going to talk about things we don't want you to hear, which
Yeah.
is kind of fucks with the whole aspect of
It's-
it.
I can I can kind of understand how that detracts from a gameplay standpoint, but like at the same time, this way you don't miss out on any commentary because they have
Yeah.
everything recorded.
It's a lot
'cause, like,
easier.
if you
It's a
did
lot
the-
easier from a viewer's standpoint, but it does kind of affect the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and
I
like
think...
if you sorry,
That's all right. Go on.
like, if you were gonna do it the surviving Minecraft Island way, you could like miss out on a lot of interesting dialogue.
Joe, what
do
you can
feel
say?
like the,
Yeah,
the-
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
I do feel like the mumble is kind of like needed for most Survivor things. Like I understand from a viewer's perspective, TeamSpeak is much easier, but I feel like I feel like for most of the players' stuff, like from experiences I've had from the New Dawn Survivor I played recently, I think the main reason it worked so well is because we had mumble. We could split off into different groups, and it was. I think it just made the game a lot better. Because I think one of the main aspects of it is like the alliances, betrayal, backstab, all that stuff. So I feel like in Mumble it's a lot easier to get that, to handle that. But I guess from a viewer's perspective, TeamSpeak is easier, I suppose.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, if for those who haven't played one of these UHC survivors yet, they're a lot of fun.
I've never played one. I helped out with creating the UHC Survivor one, the one that we're talking about right now. I did some recording for some of the scenes that weren't captured on camera and like fill-ins and stuff.
The main
But-
organizers of them, Miles, BJ, and Sam, they're all really creative people. So
Yeah,
That's
no, they
cool.
seem to be doing a very good job with what I've heard from the behind-the-scenes stuff.
yeah, right now I'm
that's
trying to
going on.
organize
Yeah.
UHC Bachelorette. So I mean,
Oh God! Don't do that.
Yeah,
We-
the
no,
last time we
okay.
did that, someone got date raped. I'm not doing that again.
Didn't Rocky kill someone?
yeah, Rocky killed someone and himself.
I think he killed Dango.
No,
Okay.
Dango was the one who raped Sir, the Bachelorette.
Oh God!
Alright, we're gonna stop talking about
All right.
this. All right.
Anyways,
next up
yeah, Survivor
is-
UHC, a lot of fun.
Next up, Bobby, are we doing the thing or no? Yeah. All right. So Ambition 19. It's not done yet, but something pretty special happened, and Bobby and I are gonna act it out for you guys. All right. Ready? Okay, ready, Bobby?
no.
Don't
everyone,
do this.
everyone, quiet for this.
All right, ready, Bobby? Barack Obama too was slain by Miles on baseball.
Oh, Baraka. Miles!
Classic. Is the reaction Michael had when Miles got his first kill in 3 years, and I still don't understand why.
It was
But-
it was a classic moment.
It's
Can you
very
give us
classic of
can you give
Miles.
us Mikhail's reaction to him getting his second kill?
Wow, classic again, I think is what he said, but I just think he said that.
I don't
But,
think you said that.
but nothing against Mike Hale.
Welcome back to the Bully Podcast.
For those who did watch it, what was your guys' reaction to Miles getting his first two kills
See,
in 3
I'm
years?
I'm not someone who watches full RR episodes. I just kind of like scroll down in the taskbar and look at the preview, and then I just like scroll to the end of the video, look at the kill board, and I see Miles won baseball with 2 kills. I'm like, what?
There was a certain player who accidentally uploaded his video early for like a second, which is like dibs crap.
Crap.
But no, because I had a notification for it, and he only unlisted it, so I went to my notifications and I was like, I can still watch his video even though he like unlisted it or whatever. And then I checked it out, I skipped to the end, and then I see Miles on baseball with 2 kills, and it's like 8 a.m. and I like barely reacted, but I was so confused, and I looked to the footage and I was like, okay, he killed Barack Obama and Salvia Eric.
Yep.
And I had to wait like 8 hours to watch the other videos, but I was so confused. I was like, how did this go down and what happened?
Yeah, in Miles' video, it's very dark.
Not like you could see anything in this video, but yeah.
You need to use the light.
Use the light.
Anyway, as we said, the season
was
isn't
some,
over yet, but for those who have watched it, what do you think of the season so far?
Pretty good.
It's alright.
Pretty good.
Well, I stopped watching after Lego Beast died. So.
Yeah, so
Got
you just watched a
backed
lot
up
of
by
it.
Cappy Rappy.
Lego, what happened to
What
you?
was your zoomed in ass perspective?
The thing is that I wasn't using a mouse pad at the time because I hadn't completely set up everything in my room. So I was just walking around and I see someone. I'm like, oh, that's Costanza because he said he's on the surface. So I start walking. I'm like, that's not Costanza. As I'm walking, my mouse breaks, so I start spinning in circles, and then I'm like, I can't move. So I stop the track. I go leave, and Brody still kills me.
Leave.
Okay, that just isn't
You go
what
leave,
happened.
but then you
That's
walk
100%
towards him.
Oh, okay. Here's what happened. Okay, no.
Well, you can
no.
realize
Let me
why
tell
that
you
would be
the actual
confusing
story.
to him.
Just
Alright,
gonna
yeah.
start running
Wait.
towards him. Leave me alone.
Okay,
What
so I'm
I'm
in a cave, and then I
wondering-
hear someone start killing zombies, and then I go, Brody, come help me. Let's go kill whoever's here. Brody and I meet up, we get enchanted, and then I go, I see Lego Beast. That's like the easiest kill we could get at this moment. What do you want to do? And then Brody's like, well, if Lego comes towards us, we're going to kill him. And if he runs away, we're just going to let him leave. And then we're looking at him. Lego types leave in the chat. We go, oh, okay, he's not going to do anything. And he starts sprinting towards us.
What I said leave as
Oh
you
my
were
God, I
chasing
just-
me.
And
made
then
me
Brody's like, he's running out of me.
Spit
I was
all
like, I
over
don't
my
care,
computer-
kill
my
him.
computer screen.
Now
Either
why
way.
do you do that?
It's actually disgusting.
So
There's
anyway-
water all over.
Anyway, I had a pretty. I mean, I liked my team for the one episode I was with them. I mean, I've never teamed with Costanza. I've teamed with 40 Pixels several times, but our team was an absolute mess. I don't even know if Costanza died. I remember him saying, "I'm dead."
He was
He died
slain
to
by
Epic
Epic
Dabville.
Dabville.
Oh,
Epic
God. Yeah, and then he
Dabville.
died 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
Tragic.
40 withered away, so rest in peace.
Shout
don't
out
think-
to Johnny Fairplay.
Fair play.
Did
Yeah.
they go away like Dull Juice and Cube
Oh,
season
so
4?
with that first death.
Exactly.
With that first death, I am now tied with Majora and Frostbreath for the most first deaths of all time.
That deserves a round of
Wow,
applause.
congratulations.
Boo,
Thank
you suck.
I just want to say, back to Miles' kill, there were some very interesting reactions.
Oh yeah.
Cappy's
I
is
really
still
like
the best. I hope
Red
that
Team's
eventually-
reaction.
Brody sounded like a dying
team.
animal.
Yeah.
Red team? Wait, which team is red team?
Dibscraft, honestly, Stefan.
No,
they,
it was
didn't,
so-
they didn't even have
there
it.
was
It was
no
so funny.
reaction.
It was so funny. Dibs goes, "Oh, Miles got a kill too," and Fairy goes, "That's a 0-0. Let's go."
That's at 0-0. Let's
Steph
go.
was like, oh wow, Miles got a kill, but that was about the extent.
I don't even
That
think they
she
noticed that
go.
Miles got 2. Honestly, I don't think
Yeah.
they knew.
Yeah.
Barack
Let's
Obama.
watch it.
What happened, man?
Guys,
They
let's
might
watch.
they might not know Miles' like history with kills
That's true.
probably.
Jinko's
I
reaction was
mean,
pretty funny. He said "what" twice. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, did he say what or did
Bobby
he
called
yell
him a
what?
machine.
He was like, "What?"
He's
fucked,
insane.
assholes.
He's
Like,
insane.
what?
Just Miles spamming in the chat. Get fucked, assholes.
I
That
just
was
noticed that Cappy's Ambition 19 Episode 5, his title is Scribbler Unleashed, and the
Have you seen
thumbnail
his thumbnail?
is a thing of Chad dying to the creeper in the Minecraft season.
I'm not happy with that episode.
He told me about that from Frigid's Twitter, and I didn't believe him at first, but
We can thank Bridget for that one.
I'm not happy with that episode. Cappy Rappy backstabbed me.
that's your fault.
Oh my god.
It is not.
So yeah, any predictions for who you guys think are gonna win or what?
Miles.
Chad.
Miles is absolutely gonna win.
Honestly, Miles and
I'm-
Jacob are like stacked gear-wise.
Yeah,
like they have
very
so much
stacked from the
stuff.
last time
And the thing
I
is
saw
that
them.
whenever Jacob plays Ambition, he either gets 0 kills or 5. So
Yeah.
No in between.
I think Being a
Oh,
little
man.
realistic, Brody and Bobby and Garrett are
Probably.
pretty strong teams,
usually-
Fairplay.
and they have really good gear.
See,
from
as
the
a
episode
viewer,
that I've
usually I'd
seen.
say that, but it's Garrett. He's like the biggest weight I've ever seen. Like,
Have you seen him in Cheaper by the Dozen?
Oh,
yeah,
he had a
I saw him
power
die
play.
15 minutes in.
He died 5.
He did. It wasn't his best performance.
I still remember watching the intro and thinking that Johnny Fairplay was a funny alt that somebody hopped on, and they were like, "Hey, I'm gonna
No.
play on Johnny Fairplay for a big
It's the
laugh."
real Johnny
Ah,
Fair.
the real one.
I don't even
When is he gonna-
fucking
is
understand
he-
it still.
Is he-
Johnny Fairplay is an IRL friend of Scribbler who now talks
Johnny
to
Fairplay
the
just
end
isn't his
No.
name.
guys.
His
Yeah.
name is Garrett.
Yeah, so
Garrett,
wait,
Sean
is
Bear
he ever
Garrett.
gonna change his name to Bear Garrett like it should be? Or
No?
No.
Just let him stick to Johnny Fairplay.
if you don't follow Bear Garrett on Twitter,
What are you doing?
Wait, I'm gonna block Max on Letter's Twitter.
No.
You can't just keep doing that.
Are we done with ambition now?
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah,
I
we're
think
done with
we are.
that. What? So up
Shout out to
next,
Oops.
up next
Got a
we
message.
got Nudon 14. which-
Nudon
Hey, I
14.
played this.
Yeah, I spec
Lego.
this.
Yeah, and Joey
Yes.
spec'd it. Joey, I like your perspective.
Let's take Joey's
Surprised
opinion
I
over.
like my
Jo-
perspective.
They're on
Well,
episode
well,
4.
here's the thing: is I'm definitely not watching Shooter or any perspective.
Well,
that
you're gonna
involves
be
Shooter.
you're gonna be missing out because
What,
you
I
missed-
nearly died in episode 2.
Oh,
Two girls in
no.
one shop.
You missed,
Shepardy almost died, so
you missed
I don't
a
know what
very
you're
fun
Yeah.
part of episode 2 if you're not watching.
Okay,
it.
did
Max,
anyone,
Max,
did anyone
what's your
see,
Twitter handle?
Did anyone see BJ's death when he went flying?
Oh, that was so bad.
I was really confused when I
That was
when I first
depressing.
saw it. I was like, oh, okay, did he just like get caught in like a bunch of spiders or something? And then
Because I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
watching
you
watching
guys do
from
a
watching
spider
from
in a
watching
recorded
from
round.
watching from a spec perspective and watching the spec perspective and seeing the just the spec info of BJ plays hit by spider, BJ plays hit by spider, BJ plays hit by spider, BJ plays hit by spider.
And it was
for-
really awkward too because the Bourne and Brody, BJ's teammates, were currently chasing, or not chasing, but they heard Bitexel and Break, and they were approaching on them, and then all of a sudden BJ just dies, and they're like, "Oh wait, we got to go see what happened."
Oh
So
my
they
god,
ran
he flew.
away.
I just watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see the comment I made on BJ's video
yeah.
paragraph?
Oh no, let me check that out.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
Oh my comment.
Can you read it out loud for me?
I
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
I will. All right, let me just find it.
Not that hard
You
to
went
find.
flying. Hello, all caps.
Comment.
Wait, hello in all caps or the entire thing in all caps?
Entire thing. Entire thing.
So also, there's a pretty funny team name in this new Dawn season that a little boy is really proud of.
it's a pretty interesting team name. I've got
Wow,
to
nice
say.
laugh.
Yeah.
I love the B team.
You're a big fan of Team Where's DJ?
Yeah.
Saving Private Kevin. Yeah, because he really needs saving.
My
Okay.
favorite
I
team
think
name
the
is
team name
Spectators.
Spectators is pretty good.
That's
I
Team
came up-
Spectator.
I came up with the team name Trapped Chest for Dango Kid and Posh as well because Dango fucking killed his whole team basically.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
to
My
be
favorite
honest,
team
though,
name is
I-
BBL.
So Joey, from a spec perspective, did you enjoy specking more than playing?
Definitely. Like, it's probably my favorite New Dawn season considering I spec'd it. Like, I haven't really enjoyed the ones I played because my deaths have been fucking awful in both of them. Well, not all, but no, I enjoyed specking a lot more. Because it saved me from like waking up at 5 a.m. to like instead of having a feeling that I die horribly, I actually get to spend the whole thing and actually get to commentate over it, which is something I enjoy doing. I'm really bad with words. I've always wanted to spec a recorded round, and I'm glad I got to spec Newton 14. I hope to spec more ones in the future. I just wish I could have done more on my editing. I didn't have the time, unfortunately. It took a while for the intro to be made, and we didn't have a lot of time to upload, so I didn't not have as much time to do stuff on my editing as much as I wanted to, unfortunately. But hopefully people have enjoyed it regardless. If not, Sid's put together a pretty cool perspective. You should watch Sid's perspective too.
The intro was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
pretty
we
good.
didn't even talk about the Ambition 19 intro and the issues with it. Like,
Too
Oh
late.
yeah.
I guess
By
we're going
Joe
back in
Johnson,
time.
and back
All right.
to
No, we're not.
TikTok.
Don't you wish we
Alright,
could
how about we
travel?
finish New Dawn, then
Wait,
maybe go back to
I have
Ambition.
more to say.
Then really.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
go ahead, Chip.
played-
Okay, well, yeah, finish New Dawn, then we'll go back to the intro for Ambition.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say, like, I felt this is New Dawn 14 was probably like one of the most fun RRs I've played. I think it felt like actually special, I guess, in a way. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed the custom terrain, and like Mumble was really fun. And I don't know, in a weird way, I think nearly dying in episode 2 like really enhanced the experience for me.
Classic.
For some reason.
Yeah, classic.
It was yeah, it was pretty dumb, but I don't know. I had a lot of fun.
I think
It was good times.
I'm always a bit of a catcher for recorded rounds that do any mix of custom terrain and Mumble, and New Dawn
What's a
seems to love that
catcher?
stuff. That's a word,
Like a
right? You say
baseball
like
catcher.
Max, I just
like,
don't watch you, so follow me back.
Catcher in the rye.
Thank you. No,
yeah.
but especially the whole like kill reveal thing. The teams, by the way, are really good. A lot of entertaining perspectives to check out.
You know what's interesting? Those were completely random.
Yeah, no, that surprised me because it looked like they were crafted to be like
Wait, they were
really
random?
Yeah, no.
balanced.
I was really
Yeah.
confused at first because
Yeah.
I was given a look because I said okay I can look at the teams. So I looked at the teams and I saw a team of BJ, Brody, and Bourne, and I was like, there was no fucking way this is random. And then it took me about 10 minutes of finally being convinced by Sid and BJ that it was random, and I was
It wasn't even like random rigged.
no, it's just purely
No,
random.
well, it was random it was rigged to an extent where there were like a couple players who wouldn't be paired together based on like skill and people
Fair
who
enough.
didn't want to be teamed. But aside from that, it was 100% random.
It did suck though because the two perspectives I wanted to watch the most, I think, were the two first ones out. That being Trapped Chest and the B team. So
B team.
rest in peace.
Where was
What's me?
Longminer?
I did actually watch you.
Where is you,
I
Lee?
looked at Posh's perspective for I think it was episode 2, and I just skipped like 10 minutes in, and then I heard you talking, and I was like, wait, I thought I was on Posh's video,
Kid's
And I
death
realized
is
that he was-
the
and then-
most unfortunate thing.
and then all of a sudden I hear you going, "Oh, I'm dying! Someone's killing me!" And I'm like, "Oh, shut! Something's happening to him." And I tuned
That
in.
was scary. I've never been more scared in Minecraft. My
Really?
face was like OMG Chad's face when he was fighting the Joker.
Never been more scared.
Why
of
are we still
Minecraft.
talking about OMG Chad?
Because he's great.
Hey, one sec.
Daredevil Dawson helped with Survivor UHC. I did not know that.
Yeah,
You
I
did?
saw I saw him in
Okay.
like
If I follow
the
back, Max.
experiment of how to walk through
I want-
water.
Did he upload?
Uh,
All right, who wants to go back to Ambition?
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
so the
for the
Ambition
intro.
intro, it
Hey
was
guys,
it was
hey
sped
guys,
up,
hold on.
unfortunately.
Stop for a
but-
second. Stop for
Why?
a second. We have a special guest.
User was moved to your
No,
channel.
get him out!
Oh, hi.
what?
Oh no.
No, out, move him out.
What? This is my series. You
can't.
fucking
You don't-
resigned.
Anyway,
Anymore.
yeah, well, I'm still hosting it, so now you're just a pawn. Bad fans here, guys.
This is a role reversal.
Wait,
Anyway,
you're
uh,
supposed to do the
paycheck.
tribute to O-Dog.
Wait,
Oh,
actually, Batman, can you be Jake? Because he timed out in the beginning and can't come
Then
back.
it all
So you- can you just
season
pretend to be
five.
Jake?
I can pretend to be Jake.
Okay,
Just
so now
talk
we're
about
gonna
nuggets.
we're
in
gonna
post-game.
go back to the
Ambition.
Ambition 19 intro because unfortunately it was sped up, but the slowed down version was still. They're both still really good.
Yeah.
They're both super.
I don't think the sped up version like was really bad. Like I think I kind of prefer it over the slow intro, I guess.
Yeah, I watched
It's
both.
like
I think I
over
preferred,
preference, I guess.
yeah, I think I kind of.
Wait, so we've got up to Ambition 19 on the RR round.
We've
Well, no,
covered
we're
we've
going
covered
to
we've
New
covered
19.
we've covered New Dawn, but we're going back to Ambition because we didn't talk about the intro.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now that we talked about that, we're gonna go to Dom's favorite 2 rounds. Corrupted
These-
season.
wait,
one.
they differ.
Wait,
Actually,
what's
they're all-
corrupted?
Yeah,
They're
they
all
are.
corrupted.
That
Actually, there is no.
You didn't know?
skipping.
Sandstone, Dom.
We're
let's go.
keep skipping forward, but there's something I want to say about the Ambition intro. But the thing, because you skipped ahead of me, but the thing I have an issue with the Ambition intro is that this is kind of some behind the scenes stuff. Is that I had no idea what was going on because
Yeah.
Kaoki posted dates for when it was being uploaded before the intro was done. And like apparently I don't think they didn't have the intro sorted when the release date was coming around. And I got really confused by all that because
Welcome to the life of Kaoki owner.
I was very confused also.
it was like
I don't think it really mattered though. I don't think it overlapped.
Yeah,
with
it didn't matter.
anything.
Yeah,
No,
it
it
wasn't-
wasn't. I'm just confused how everyone managed to get like the new intro out within like a day.
Oh yeah, it happened. Don't worry.
I'm just confused.
Well,
Like,
not
a lot of
Well,
last minute
Joey,
stuff.
Joey, I don't think everyone got their episode up.
Okay,
No.
not everyone.
Okay. Alright, can we move on?
Enough
No,
people.
thank you very much.
Bobby, shut up.
We already made this joke, and we were like, "Thank God
like
that."
that
it wasn't,
Lego
it
beast.
wasn't even a joke.
Classic.
That's all that matters.
All right, can we move on?
I knew Bobby
Actually, yeah,
was
that
gonna
is
say
pretty
something.
classic.
Bobby, you're a piece of shit.
He's muted his mic. and shit.
God.
Anyway, so let's move on before Bobby and I get really upset. Let's move on to Corrupted.
Yay.
Wait, is that the one with Stenson or the one without Stenson?
That's
That's
the one
without
without
Stenson.
We're getting to
Alright,
Stenson,
that's
we
how
will
we're
get
gonna
to
have to identify these.
This
Sorry.
is the Central Eric recorded round.
Right,
So,
gotcha.
For people who did watch this, cough cough Dom, what would you think? of it, Dom?
I kind of actually watched it a little bits of it.
I watched it. I've been watching it from James because gotta rep my boy James Douglas.
Yeah.
One of my favorite humans. It's alright.
James Douglas had a pretty good
any
team
big
actually.
opinions?
It's
or what?
alright.
I mean, I probably have a better opinion of the season than most because I was watching. No offense, the most entertaining team
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
whole thing.
BBR, James Douglas, and TX Talent TX, all great
It's like
people.
it's like
Alan?
it would be an amazing team to watch in like most RRs anyway. So
Alan from Sin.
Yes, from Sin.
Okay,
From Super Hexagon.
that's a good
That's not an
game.
RR. It's
Super
not an
Hexagon's
RR.
a good
though.
game.
Anyway,
It could be.
I
Wait,
didn't
let
watch
her-
any of it, but I
I'll make
remember
it
seeing
happen.
the intro and thinking that I've seen this before. So
There's only
It's-
15 players, right?
Yeah, only
Yeah, there
15.
was not a lot of people.
Yeah, Frigid, your comment was like, you can't have an original roster if there's only 15 players or
Oh
something.
my god.
Yeah,
It
you
is
can't
more
be
clever than that.
you can't be called a season 1 roster if there's only 15 players. Good
Yeah.
thinking, guys.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was.
No. Wait, which one was the one where you made like the Shade and Ellie acronym?
We're
And the
getting to that.
Purpline acronym. Was that? was that
We're
Corrupted
working
or
on that one.
Conviction?
We're working
That
to
was,
it.
that was conviction.
That
I
was a
think.
heartfelt comment. She didn't really had nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really watch it. I don't know. I checked out the finale episode and I saw that Central Eric won his unrecorded rounds with like 1 kill. And I was like, thumbs up,
Really?
dude.
Wait,
Yeah.
are the
Speedy
two
winning
rounds
unrecorded
at all
rounds.
similar, or is it just an unfortunate name crossover? Like,
Unfortunate name
And they-
crossover.
Unfortunate.
Because I haven't been
And they
able to
came
watch
out, like-
anything related to them. I've been very busy the last. Sort
Their
of
names are
2
similar and
weeks.
they came out
I'm
very
a bit
close to each other.
patchy.
okay,
on
so are we
this.
done with Corrupted? Can we go to the other one?
Wait, let me introduce
The
it.
one with
No,
Stenson.
Frigid, I want to do it.
No, I want to introduce it.
Alright,
No,
fine,
no,
go
no,
ahead,
no.
go ahead.
Frigid brought it up in the beginning.
Alright, fine,
Frigid's
Frigid, go
doing
ahead.
it. All right, Frigid, go for it.
Hey, Peridot,
Hey, Frigid.
have you ever committed a crime?
Anyway, Conviction and Frigid, we have to talk later about this because you know what you did to me. But
Jade and Ellie.
anyway.
Oh wait,
what
hold
are-
on. I just remembered with the "Have you ever committed a crime?" thing. I was just reminded that XLux commented like, "No, I haven't," and got like fucking 40
Yeah, I don't get why he got
downvotes.
You know,
downvoted.
I think his peak was like 28 downvotes.
Yeah, I don't get it. I thought it was
What did
funny.
he
It was-
do wrong?
It was-
Absolutely nothing, but
He
it,
didn't
I
commit a
actually
crime.
find it hilarious.
I think-
Yeah, that's the
downvoted.
problem.
I think it was mine cool.
Oh, God.
I
You know
feel
what,
like
Frigid? You know what, Frigid? I think you're right. I think it was mine cool.
I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I definitely remember I was in Discord when I watched the Conviction trailer, and they had the clips of people,
God.
and I saw the clip of
You just see a
Sten
shield.
and it's the clip of Sten killing James in K-Core, and I was like, this clip looks an awful lot like Sten's clip, but Sten wouldn't be in this round.
I was just randomly
Would he?
messaged one. I was just randomly messaged on one day. I had no idea what was going on. I was just randomly messaged by Dom saying, like, what did you say to me? You peer me on Discord. What did you say to me?
I can't remember
You
exactly.
Said, you said, Joey, I am gonna lose it. Joey, the season 1 trailer posted to the subreddit. How? I'm blowing my top.
I was a little bit
I
aggressive.
was really confused what you were talking about.
Dom, what amazes me is that like you got the exact like screenshot that was
Oh
like,
yeah.
seen in the trailer. Like it was the exact same thing.
Oh, I went. Oh, trust me, I went pixel perfect.
Yeah, I
I was
can tell.
examining that. Yeah, I remember as well. Like I was fucking talking to people like a month ago, saying, you know, I probably feel really weird if I watched like a season 1 roster and Sten Stone just appeared out of nowhere, and they fucking happen?
He's not happy.
Hey,
of
hey, Dom,
nowhere.
did you say you want Sandstone to be in more rounds, man?
Oh god.
Okay, listen.
Listen, fellas.
not these kind of ones. okay?
Here's the thing. Sten Stone is the type of guy who I think would be good. Get to know some people in the community. Work on his relations with other people, and make his way up in the RR ladder. What that doesn't mean is see him in Pathfinder Season 7 and then add him despite the fact no one in the roster had ever spoken to him. It was a very unusual pick, and okay, I said this on my rant account, and I feel like it's probably gonna be a bit more drama inducing than the podcast would like. But I'm just gonna say
We know what happens when we do that.
Listen, it's not gonna be a podcast thing. This is me. Blame us if you're offended. If you're offended. If you're offended by this at all, it's me. It's my fault. I feel like Sten was picked for the round as a token original player and was nothing more than that. I feel like he was because let's be fair, it's not the greatest roster we've ever seen on the subreddit, and the Flues and Sten just kind of felt like they were easy picks for people they could get to have a more original roster.
Will do anything, and Sten doesn't know any better.
Yeah, Sten.
I don't think Flues.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Like, he died to Pedro the Gamer, his teammate.
They were fighting. They were fighting creepers, and Sten wasn't half hard.
I swear to God, if I see a team of Johnny Fairplay and Rocky, I am going to flip my shiz.
Okay.
Where? What?
New season 1 pops up with Johnny Fairplay in
season
it.
1 with Rocky and Johnny Fairplay.
Anyway, I think
That's the whole roster.
I've been noticing that.
Anyway, it's all fine. I've had my stern words with Stan. He won't do anything like this ever again.
He won't do anything like this again.
He's been told. I have not spoken to Stan about it because I can't. I have no authority to go to him and go, hey, I got you into this RR business. You can't just go around joining rounds like this. I could maybe say, hey, if you get invited to a round, do some background research. Don't just say yes.
Stop blocking Max.
Yes. Didn't you see him liking a bunch? Oh no, that was the mop actually.
Yeah, that was
he
the
liked
mop.
a bunch of tweets.
The mop was some joining RR tweets, and thankfully the organizers have been gracious enough to PM me about it to say it's okay. Are we stealing it?
Yeah.
Anyway, as I keep on saying,
I don't own people.
I don't know why Flues is joining all these rounds.
He's been doing it for years, though. This isn't a recent thing.
He just doesn't know how to say no.
Flues is such a nice guy. He's one of the nicest people I've ever talked to.
Flues is a great fella. Sudden glowing endorsements from Flues.
This is not the first time he's been in a below average RR. Not to
he
name
joins
names,
loads of them.
I know.
Paradigm,
Next, he's going to the Great Frontier.
UHC Canada.
What?
Paradigm, who's the meanest person you've ever met?
Lego Beast.
I'd actually say Lego Beast.
Mine's no Arco.
Okay.
No Arco.
Okay.
Do not bully no Arco.
Okay, we are now done with the RR roundup. And how long did that take? That didn't take that
It only took an hour.
45 Wow.
long.
No, that
So we
was
started technically on time.
No, we
That was
started
an
early.
hour.
We started
No,
early.
we started early. I just
Oh
didn't-
fuck.
Our first actual topic, season 1. So what they're doing wrong, what can they do better? What are,
This is too much of a drama topic.
I don't care.
Stop getting the same people.
They should add
This is
maximum 50.
open-ended and as what?
I'm gonna be-
what?
This
Alright,
might be an unpopular opinion.
Okay,
but I
let's
think
start
we
with
should
Shakespeare.
just might be an unpopular opinion, but maybe we should just let that group just do their thing and have just one consistent RR instead of 17,000.
I wish they
different
did.
ones.
I wish they did. If they just
Yeah,
stuck
but
to
the problem is because they kill their rounds when they first make them because everyone hates on them for it, but then they just make another one.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's
If
just
everybody was just really
I also-
kind
I
about
also
that one
think-
round, then they could just.
I also
carry on
think
with
it's a
that.
lot.
It
I
doesn't
also
have
think
to-
it's. I also think it's a lot of the complex of people having a recorded round. And I'm not saying it's like a fame thing or a getting your name out there, but a lot of people like to have their own round.
I feel like half of them just want to be in the organizer chat. They want access to the doc.
The thing is, I
is
feel
the
like this used to be a thing with, no offense to you, Batman, but it used to be a thing with Great Frontier Time. Like, I believe at first they kind of got like, bad talk about them.
They
But
still
instead of
do.
like,
Possibly at
just
first,
completely
huh?
killing the round, they just
I
like,
wasn't even an organizer then, so I don't
yeah, I know.
really take
They
it.
just like,
Weren't
instead of
even
killing
in
the
the
round, they just
round.
kept pumping out seasons until like, people are fine with it now.
If they
Yeah.
kept
Little does
like
Batman know, I've been shitting on the Great Frontier for years.
I think if that quote unquote that group kept a consistent couple rounds, like 1 or 2, honestly, I would think
corrupted
that would be
conviction.
pretty good, because I think
Yeah.
that within all those rounds there are definitely competent organizers. There are people who I think would do a good job of putting that stuff together.
Like,
I think probably the best one I've seen is Kai Smarty Pants, if I'm being honest. I think he does a good job with putting Over the Top together, and he seems to be pretty devoted to it.
well, that's quite consistent. That's had like 4
Yeah,
seasons.
no, I like that.
I'm not
I
gonna-
think
yeah,
Over the
it's-
Top is
Wait a
up there.
minute, was Over the Top the one that used Ocean Man in their
Yes.
intro?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh.
So,
I'm not gonna say that Over the Top's the most well received round on the subreddit, but I mean like it does fairly alright.
I mean,
It's not
Yeah,
like
hate.
no.
for one of those rounds that like no one really like knows about, it does pretty well for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know about it.
But then you have like, it feels like every every other couple weeks there's a new kind of sub portion of them that's like, guys, it'd be good if we started up a new round, because
I think in this one we'll get really good support from the subreddit.
Yeah,
Do you reckon?
man,
They did LA.
I don't know.
Most of them just seem to be just like what would be private games in some way. Like
Yeah.
that's like
It's
that's the thing.
exactly what
I'm really
corrupted
curious
and
what the
conviction
attitude,
felt like.
what the attitude of these rounds are before the public like get to see them. Are they of some misconception that everybody's gonna love the rounds, and then they actually are they genuinely surprised every time they get hate, or do they just not give a shit?
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
think
want to know.
It always
There's
makes me
nothing
wonder,
wrong
like,
with the positive attitude.
Because the hate always comes pretty quickly, There's always the first few comments are just things like, "Oh wow, I've seen this before."
Really?
It's like, "Wow, this seems really original." Like just
Riles me up when
sarcastic
people
comments,
say
and then as the hours go on from the intro getting released, you'll get the slightly more intellectual comments of like people actually saying actual criticism about.
I thought
I
my
just,
comments
I
are pretty
just
info.
think that with like all the bad rounds, I don't say bad, but all the bad rounds that have come.
He said it, he said bad.
That like people would have like learned what people have been doing wrong and tried to improve on it. Like
That's the thing.
just-
Yeah.
it just-
I-
it just
I
boggles
think-
my
It seems they
mind how
don't take
still,
the
like,
messages of the
I
Reddit
feel
at
like
all.
I
it's
feel
just
like the
people
season.
comment on the stuff, and it's just it's like, okay, we don't pay any attention to it. It's just like, pay attention to it, and you and maybe like you'll get a.
I feel like
and
this-
maybe
I-
people
I-
respond
Yeah,
positively.
This might be an odd thought on it, but I feel like the season 1 group have at this point kind of screwed themselves past fixing, because
Yeah.
if they just get together a normal roster, the sub will be like, I've seen this roster before. This is unoriginal. This is season 1 gang. But then if they do something like Conviction and go, oh, we're gonna try and get some new players, the sub's gonna be like, sub's just like, why'd you get these? Like these guys don't fit in whatsoever.
Ben Stone.
What I'm thinking is like, I think part of the reason that they don't really learn from their mistakes is that it's not really like a consistent person organizing every new
That's
round.
true, yeah.
Like it's a different person from that group every single time. It seems like,
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
But
and like they
man.
probably don't share like, oh hey, you should do this so that people don't hate.
I think if you're creating any new round, I wish, and I feel like they don't get this. I think if you're planning to say, hey, look, I want to create a new recorder round, I want to get it an audience, so I'm going to put it on the subreddit, right? Then at that point, you're already making it more than just something with friends if you're showing it to a community. And you have to ask yourself, what is it about this thing that I'm making that makes it special or different? And if you can't answer that question, then you shouldn't be making a recorded round. Like if it's just like a kind of oh, I'm just doing it for fun with a couple of my friends,
With
then
the
it's
Then
like
don't-
it's
then
the
don't
same.
Put it on the subreddit.
Yeah, because then it's just the same thing and people are not going to like it. You got to make it different if you want to get some reception.
Here's another question though, which I think is probably worth asking. Do you think people do generalize the whole season 1 gang thing? Like when people say, "Oh, I've seen this before," is that just a way of saying I've not heard of anybody in this round? Because quite often people can
No.
say, "Oh, this is definitely season 1
No.
gang," and then you look
I'm
at the
gonna-
roster, and like half of them are actually original, but just because you've
I'm-
never heard of them before, you just assume that they're in all of the season 1 gang.
I'm gonna
rounds.
say no, only because I've said I've seen this before, legitimately at least 7 times at this point.
Oh yeah, I'm
only
not saying
real
there are
example-
definitely massive crossovers.
Maybe your
But as in,
eyesight
do you think
isn't
people
very
actually
good.
give a shit?
I think
to do
I don't-
extensive research into all the previous rounds that have released
This is
before making
this is like
comments like that.
it's not at all
I don't.
helpful to like defining a group, but I feel like season 1 defines more of like a vibe than it does this actual group of people. Like because saying the argument of like, oh, they're, you know, I've never heard of them.
It
They
means
in season 1.
effortless. Season 1 gang is a word for effortless, basically.
Season one,
you know?
season 1 gang. If you're
Season
going by
one
the rule,
gang.
if you're going by the rule of it's people I've ever heard of, then that means that theoretically you could call Polycraft a season 1 gang, which is straight up not true.
Wait,
I think
do
it's
they
more
have gang signs?
a lot of the people in the round, even if they are original, you still kind of have an idea that even though you're not very fully aware of them, you kind of know who they talk to.
Yeah.
And that kind of networking is like, yeah, okay, they clearly hang around with this person's season 1 gang, this person's kind of season 1 gang, which is a bit bullshit, but it's something that we, as I said, it's more of a feeling than an actual group, so it can't be helped much.
Yeah. That's
I feel
fair.
like the people in like the season, quote unquote, season 1 gang have to have like people who can like commentate like decently well as well in some way, because like if you're just gonna get people who are like hardly gonna talk at all, it's just not gonna be that interesting of a thing to watch.
That's just an issue with rounds in general. Like,
Yeah.
I'll see even rounds that are fairly well respected, and people will just be playing really loud music during their perspectives, and it gives them an excuse not to talk or whatever. And it's just kind of like, yeah,
I
come
can
on,
think
you
of
know.
one person who
That
plays an
is
awful
you
lot
watch.
of RRs, is quite popular, but their footage is just unbearable to watch. Not gonna name them, but like
No, name them.
from
50.
an RR
Name 'em.
perspective,
Name them. You already brought them up.
no,
Like,
I'm,
Like,
I'm
I've-
not
I've-
starting shit.
I've
but
seen
I
the music thing
wait.
like 5
Is
or
it
6
Lego
times.
Beast?
at this point.
I think Lego can probably guess who I'm.
No,
on
I
about.
actually
Yeah,
can't.
I feel like
Lego
you're just
Beast
talking
has
about
bad
me.
footage.
I'm not gonna say it. It's just
Wait. This is not related, but I meant to ask this during the ambition segment. But like, what
Back to
the
ambition.
fuck happened
Oh
with
my-
your
Okay, so
footage?
here's what happened. This is my first time using OBS on this computer because at the time, no, I'm not done because until then I'd been using Action because Xlux gave me an Action code, and then Action just like stopped working. So like, fuck, I have to download a report. So Serge told me to download OBS, and I downloaded it like 2 minutes before we started recording the actual like intro.
What?
So
Yeah.
in that,
That's a bad sign.
No,
OBS
what-
is a thing you need to know how to use.
well, no,
before
I know
you
how to use it.
Oh
because I
my
used it
God,
on a Mac for a
Lego.
while. So I know
Why
how to use,
did
I got all my settings set up while they were recording the intro.
Go
So
to wax
Okay.
then.
Lego, why did you download it 2
Hold on,
minutes
so
before
let
we
me-
started?
so-
We started an
I'm not
hour
done.
late.
I'm not done. Anyway, so after I did this, I got all my settings set up. But the one thing I didn't set up is what OBS can see. So OBS.
Yes, exactly my point. You need
Yeah.
to know how to use
And
OBS.
no, I know. I
before
just
you
forgot
can
to.
play
I know how to
with
use it. I just forgot to do it. That was literally it. And
I was
Bobby,
about to
forgot
say, you were
Santa
having
Tracker this year.
you had zoomed in footage while using OBS, a recording software in which you can preview your footage as you're recording it.
I didn't make.
Like, how do you fuck that up?
Anyway, so and it's Bobby, to answer your question, I just assumed Action was going to work when we were going to record, so I just didn't bother opening it until then.
You are talking to Mr. Optifine over here, so I wouldn't have too high
Oh.
standards. But
I'm excited.
I got it to work like 2 days ago, so I don't really.
2 days ago, we recorded Ambition in October.
I'm talking about Optifine right now. It's,
Okay, I'm glad you got
Hey
off
girl,
the
are
fight
you a
over.
Minecraft mod? Because you're off to fine.
Alright.
anyway,
Okay,
what were we talking
goodbye,
about?
Frigid.
User in your channel was kicked from the server.
Alright, this is all up.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Frigid.
the next topic up in line, because it seems that I assume we're finished with the season
User
1
joined your
stuff,
channel.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys know there's a goldfish channel on this TS?
Yeah, there has
There
been
is.
one for a
Hold
while.
on.
It's been there for like a year.
What's
I'm-
the past?
I just want to
have no
acknowledge one
idea.
thing.
I know the past, but I will not tell you because
I'm just gonna acknowledge one thing about the season 1 thing real quick. I'm not gonna name the person's name, mostly because I just don't want to acknowledge them. But I remember seeing someone saying that the reason season 1s get hated on is because quote unquote elitists don't want Randy rounds to succeed, and that's just. I just want to make
Is that a
Can I
genuine
name and
quote?
shame? Can I
quote
name and
and
shame?
statement?
Because I know who you're talking about.
Classic
that
liberal
is a
media.
genuine.
If you really want to find out, check out my Twitter replies from a while back.
No,
I know
we
who
don't
this is.
give this guy validation.
Yeah, don't.
Oops.
Dom, just
We're
message
talking
me
about
who
the
it
same
is out of.
I'll message you after.
Just
I'll
put,
message
actually,
you.
just
This
put it in the
guy's already
chat. No one
valid.
has
I
to
don't-
say it out loud.
I'm gonna.
Okay, everyone, come okay. Badfin and I are talking about one person. Max is talking about someone who apparently.
My internet.
Wait, me and Lego are
Okay,
talking
I'm gonna-
about one person.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay,
just-
Guys,
I'm
this
gonna-
is not relevant right now. Come
Yeah,
on.
not relevant.
I'll PM you
Alright, you
guys
forget,
after
let's
the
just move on.
podcast. All right.
Next topic on the Bully podcast.
All right, the next topic. The next topic is what makes a good organizer V2.
This is
When
this
did we
is
do
this
a
is
V1 of this? Like what?
No,
episode
this
one
was
then?
taken from Nuzlocke.
Passion. Bobby the Turtle and Scribbler. Bobby the Turtle is my favorite
Okay,
animation
anyway, I wanna-
organizer.
Sorry, does anyone know what I'm saying with that?
Wait, what did you say?
Has anyone said like I just thought it was. I mean, I think it was "Hey, I'm hungry." This isn't. I'm not like having a go at you. It was just. I thought it was quite an interesting thing to say. He said. I think there was a Reddit post about like setting up a good recorder round. Like, what's one of the most important things? Like, no, what is the most important thing? And he said the most important thing for setting up a recorder round is trust.
I made fun of this earlier in the episode.
Did you? Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
It's. I mean,
It's
it's
okay.
true to an extent.
Yeah,
It's
trust.
true to an extent.
I just don't think it's that essential.
Well,
You don't.
I just
you
don't
need
know
you need to
if I
trust
can
your
trust
players.
Your recorder round dies and you're wondering why, and you're like, I've figured out the reason. It's because like my roster wouldn't tell each other their like deepest and darkest.
My teammate is
secrets.
Senator.
Oh my god.
Shut up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think Frigid already shouted this out loud a couple times, but I would probably say passion's the largest one. If an organizer like knows what they want to do with the round and is very devoted to their craft, then I think it's going to
Passion's
go a
one of my
long
favorite
way,
words.
regardless of the roster. Thank you.
I recently
Yeah,
took
Frigid,
over.
passion.
I recently took
Passion
over
is
a
really
round which had
important.
no passion into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lego just filled that round to the brim with passion.
Oh yeah, I filled it with all my passion.
Lego is
Okay.
very passionate. I wish I had that much passion.
Lego's
Yeah, I'm doing a really,
seeds
I think I'm doing a pretty
sprouted.
good job with it.
It's good, Lego. It's real good.
Okay, so I think another thing you need, like, not educated, but you need to know what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
if you're just gonna go around there like, I'm just not gonna talk for like 3 months. You guys do your own thing. You know.
A bit of
Yeah.
a bit of a legacy story about that specific circumstance would definitely be Manipulation season 2, in which the
Yeah, that
organizers
was literally the first thing that came to my mind.
the organizers refused to talk in the Skype chat right up until release, and we had to be told what they were saying like through someone else.
Excuse
And it was
me?
like they just straight didn't speak in the Skype chat whatsoever, and it would be someone else would have to be like, yeah, I was talking to the organizers earlier. They want this is what they were talking about.
Who organized this?
Didn't like it was F-Death and Xenon organizing. I think like Len had to relay everything that they were saying
Yeah.
to the people in the chat.
It was subpar organization.
You can probably put that to why it died.
Yeah,
So,
probably a strong indicator.
shout out to Manipulation.
Yeah.
Yo, Infinite
Shout
Turbine
out.
won a season.
That was Manipulation, actually like a really like strong season 1, and I thought it would last a lot longer than 2 seasons, but you know.
Yeah.
I disagree. I don't think Manipulation 1 was very good.
What was the gap between season 1 and 2?
Manipulation
6?
was
Oh, it was a big gap. It was,
People thought Manipulation was dead after season 1 because it took so long for season 2 to come out.
Season 2 was the one with like the 14-second intro, right?
yeah. I
yeah.
didn't really like
With the
Manipulation
21
as a whole.
Pilots song.
Yeah.
One.
I
21.
heard that
That is
remix
not what I
for the
said.
intro before I heard the actual song, and then when I heard the actual song on the radio, I thought this sounds familiar, but I don't know.
It sounds like a shitty round. I don't know why
Wow.
though. Anyway.
Oh,
Gotta get that out of
cheers
the
for
system.
that.
Anyway, up next, unless we're still talking
Are we
about
done
this.
with that already?
I don't know. Are we?
Anybody else have anything to say
Surely
about?
It feels like
someone-
quite a strong topic. It's,
Yeah,
Yo,
I feel like we didn't touch on that very much.
Joey, Pathfinder, are you a good organizer?
Huh?
Paying
Oh,
attention is
best
another
organizer
fantastic.
around. Definitely 100%. Max, don't you agree?
Like 7
yeah.
people in this
You're on thin
chat
ice,
are
Max, you better say yes.
organizing and-
Fantastic, excellent. Alright,
If I-
thank you
if
for
I am
watching
being
Recorded
honest,
Round
though,
Podcast.
He
That's all
didn't
you need to
ask
know,
me
and-
if I agreed. What the fuck?
Your
You didn't ask
opinion
Chris.
doesn't matter.
No,
You turned
I think-
up here late.
If I am being honest though, I do think you probably are one of my favorite organizers, but that's just because I like the style that you organize, and not everybody can be as efficient when it comes to that stuff.
I reckon
I've
I'm
had a lot of
everyone's
passion for
least
Pathfinder
favorite
lately, and I hope
organizer.
that shows. Well, you can't believe
Passion.
that we haven't had a season in 3 months, but
Passion.
we're not
Yeah,
dead.
come
I swear.
on.
Hello, we're not dead. We promise.
That's
How
something
can
to
you
get
sure?
played.
You're not
have
R&R.
passion? How can you claim
R&R.
to have passion for a recording round when it doesn't even have a survivor? Like, that is the staple
I
of a
would
passion of your
I would
recording
love
round
to.
nowadays.
I would love to
What
set
the
up a
hell?
Survivor thing sometime.
Yeah, your round needs a
Unless you're
survivor
New
to actually
Dawn
be
or
accomplished.
Ambition or Kata, then you're.
Oh yeah,
not-
oh yeah, bad fan. That's true. The Great Frontier of Time definitely doesn't have any passion to it. You're right because it doesn't have Survivor. clearly.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
TGF Survivor. It's
Yo,
happening
I'm just throwing this out here. If Pathfinder
version is it
Pathfinder
gonna be?
does Survivor, absolutely Sten's gonna win. No
Yeah.
shadow
Yeah.
of a doubt.
No one would want to vote him out.
No one would ever want to vote Sten out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Same
that's
thing
what
if
we all thought
Conviction did a
about
Survivor.
Round
Conviction Survivor.
I think
Yeah.
Pedro, my gamer,
I don't know. I
won
don't think
conviction.
anyone could ever vote out Sid.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Power player.
I just
Well,
get bored.
that's
Anyway,
what
that's
I
off
vote out
topic.
Sid, I mean-
Is there any other topics?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
actually
we
have a
have
bit more
3 more.
topics.
We have 3 more.
Our next topic is something is a word Dom made up earlier.
Wait,
I did make
Oh, is
this
it
up.
the pseudo one?
Yes,
Yeah.
themes.
So Dom, why don't you talk about that?
Oh, for just gonna be it.
So, welcome. So, a pseudo theme, as I've defined it, and I've apparently, like, I'm the only one who refers to it as this, is when a recording round has a theme that is unbelievably lenient, in that they can just, like, make the title of the season something and do a game mode for that, and that satisfies their theme.
Yeah.
Which a lot of rounds have, and I'll use my since I'm currently on the podium to put my stance of that. When a lot of older rounds did it, it wasn't a very frequent thing to do, so it's kind of okay. But now that more rounds are popping up over and over, and they have the same idea of just going, we're going to put this in the name, and we'll do game modes for this, it's just kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of old rounds had it because it was it was not as much of a big thing back then, obviously. But now that it's now that there's a lot of rounds going on, and you kind of got to stand out. Just saying that your theme is like, hi, this our recording round's all about duplicating an aspect of the game. This season we're duplicating time or something like that. It's just
This time we're duplicating
time's the
it's double
really
or nothing.
time's like the essential one, along with best PvE.
Yeah.
Is
The only
Is-
rounds I can think of that were like old rounds, I can think of like Risk and Reward, obviously.
WMC.
Frenzy, yeah, but WMC. Well, that's kind of a different thing because it's in their name.
Inception.
TTE, Conception, Frenzy, if you count
Walking the
that.
Plains.
one, but
We're not talking about
the
Walking
one
Dead,
thing,
yes.
the one thing I will say that is kind of different when it comes to rounds like those is that they don't try and sell that they have a theme. It's kind of like they have a consistent aspect. They don't say that, oh, this is our theme. While other rounds are like, our theme is that we do this, when it's basically just they could do anything and it would work.
Yeah, like some of them are just more like kind of cute titles to go along with the game modes that they chose, but other times it's like they chose the game modes based on their theme, but it's so loose that you can kind of do anything you want, but they still like think it's like a really heavy theme, and when it's kind of not,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Surely the majority of rounds are just pseudo themes, though. Apart from things like Nuzlocke and Out of Orbit, God Rest Its Soul, that like genuinely had themes that were like you couldn't deviate from it. Surely every round is that though. It's like TTE, they can do anything they want. They don't have any binding
Yeah, but that's not a pseudo
game
theme, I don't
mode.
Yeah.
think.
They just
it's a-
literally put a word on the start of
Yeah,
the
but that's a
WMC. As long as their word begins with the letter C, it's fine.
Yeah, but
Pathfinder,
that's
hello,
not
Joey.
that's not
They
technically.
just choose a game mode and choose a something path to go with it. It's not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like
Like, yeah,
no,
that's
yeah,
what they're
no,
confident
there's
about.
no,
That's-
offense-
No, like
I couldn't. No, I agree with I agree with. Unfortunately, I agree with like Pathfinder because we talk about the season's kind of like new paths, and while to an extent, it's still a lot of game modes. You can do a lot of different game modes and link it with a theme. But stuff like WMC, as I said, is not technically a pseudo theme because they don't try and sell that they have a theme. It's just like they don't go every season we're doing this aspect to the game. It's that there's like it's just a word beginning with C. It's not like they're trying to sell a theme or anything. It's just a consistent aspect between all the seasons.
Yeah. So, like, even most of the older ones that we brought up don't really have that. Like, again, TGE doesn't have that. It's not like each season. I think I guess you could argue that every 5 seasons they do the Dragon Rush thing, but that's not a theme, really. But yeah, it would have to be something that has a title that is changed each season that they try to keep consistent with it, which most rounds don't have that, but I think the ones that do are kind of, most of the time, pretty loose, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Would people like to talk about this topic? That'd be pretty good for the RR podcast.
A bit of a flop of a topic.
We discuss.
No, I quite like it. I mean, so you're saying the bad thing about when rounds do that is when they try and claim that they have some master concept based around something and really it's actually weak. Like, so it's okay if a round says our theme is pretty loose, but we don't really give a shit. That's okay.
No, but it'd
like,
be fine it would be fine if they just never mentioned theme. Like if Fission, even like if Fission, if we like ramp it up a bit, had like blank Fission. Like every season they had something Fission, but they never were like our theme is this. They were just like blank Fission. This is what we do. Then that's fine. But if they start trying to argue this, like our theme for this recorded round is we do this every season, when they could theoretically do everything, it's just kind of a cop out when it comes. If you're making a round and you want your round to have a theme, actually give it a theme. Don't just.
So how specific does your concept need to be before you can describe it as an actual theme by your standards?
You can. Let me think about
Because
some
it's easy
phrasing.
to make that comment, but like, where do you draw the line?
Like, if we're talking about, like, even though I think the execution is bad, like, for example, I think Walking the Plains has a good theme because it has a strong source material that it's kind of, I think, you have to think, I've got a thought process. It's just, I need to form it. I think it's more that you make the game modes by thinking about the theme first, then the game modes, instead of the game modes first, then the theme. Like, if you go, I want to do cut clean this season we're going to have clean blank. It'd be more like, well, I wanted to do this part of our theme for this season, so what game modes could we do for that? That would be a good indicator of a stronger theme.
Yeah.
And also, not just being able to literally do everything. That's always a good one.
Leto is typing ...
Passion.
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 By the way, the pizza I had was really good.
Okay.
Good job.
Does that answer your question, Bad Finn?
Yes, I guess.
Thank you. I'm glad we could have this open dialogue.
Wow, that was beautiful, guys.
Pseudo themes, guys.
Glad,
All
glad
right.
we were all here to listen to that.
Wait, what was the topic? I need to give my 2
Oh
cents.
my god. All right, we're moving on.
Alright, moving on.
So usually at the end of these podcasts, we do the origins of the rounds, but we're gonna do the origins of our guests. So, Shooter, what was the first round you ever played, and how did you do?
Ooh, this is a good story. Okay.
Oh god. Never mind. Moving on.
No,
we need to hear.
My first RR was Distantia Season 3, back in like December 2016.
I liked your render.
No, it wasn't good.
No.
You need to stop. Actually, I think it was December 2015.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it was.
Anyway,
Appreciate it, no.
so I was a sub for that, and a little backstory. I didn't have a working computer at the time, so I had to play on my sister's Mac, which I was not used to at all. So first of all, I don't think I even had a mouse. I was playing with the trackpad still at the time.
Oh god.
Me too.
And like this was before I used a mouse. And Yeah, so I taught myself how to use ScreenFlow like 5 minutes before the round, and then I got teamed with Campbell and Mr. Craftinator, who I'm pretty sure none of us had ever spoken to the other before. So
Yeah.
that was really, really good commentary. And then my team died.
Shoot,
and I was
do you have any
alone.
iron?
God.
Jesus Christ.
And then I was on the shitty laptop mic, so it would be like. My microphone just fell over. Yeah.
Wait, did it fall over just now or in December of
Just
2015?
now. No, it was a laptop mic, so it couldn't have unless the whole thing fell over.
Thank you.
So yeah, my team died. I was alone, and then I got backstabbed by Jill, and that was my first RR experience. And then I didn't get to like. First of all, I don't think I had like any. My mic audio was god awful because the laptop mic was terrible. So
Still
like you
is.
could barely hear me. I don't think my
Just
teammates
kidding.
could fucking hear me. And
Dude.
I didn't get to upload it because my sister took her laptop back to college before I was able to actually do that.
On vacation.
So unfortunately, there was no perspective from me for Distantia season 3.
Rest in
and that is
peace.
a true tragedy of the modern era.
Yeah.
And that's my story.
Good story.
That's a beautiful story.
And that's my story.
Do you want to hear about my second RR?
No.
It's gonna at this rate, it's gonna take us a while to get through everybody, I think. So might
No,
just
it's
be
We got time.
So next up, we got Kazmik.
That's me.
What was your first round and how did
He's
you
not
do?
a guest.
Doesn't
My-
matter, we're going through everyone.
My first recorded round was Out of Orbit Season 3, which I got into because Grant played on my YouTube SMP. So I managed to swindle my way into the recorded round. I did so god awful. It was... I fell off a building in episode
You
4.
didn't even have a piece of gold.
I just walked off. I
Gold's
walked
not
off.
here. Where's not here?
I encountered a player. I said hi to them, and I just walked off a building and died right in front of them,
he got a
Like-
good laugh out of that.
like the smart man I was.
Who was it?
It was Ice Static, I think.
Yeah.
I remember because
Not to be
he got real excited because he needed like gold to heal,
gold.
but I had no gold, and he was screaming in anger. I remember that.
Not to be confused with Ice Swifty. It's Ice Static and Ice Swifty. Different people.
No,
Swifty
I can tell you
is
for a
like
fact, Ice Static was not winning this season.
You know who did win that season?
Nice Swifty, another.
Ice
I
Swifty did
won it
win.
this season. But anyway, moving on to our next boy in line, Peridot.
Oh,
The first of many.
that's me.
Peridot, what was your first round and how'd you do?
All right. My first round was Instinct UHC, which was organized by Clay Bornful and Scooby Snacks, I believe.
Oh god.
Did
Well,
Max
really?
organize that?
Always to start somewhere.
I don't know who organized it, but yeah, my teammate. I think he goes by Izuna Loli now. I think that's what his IGN is, and he was
What
my
did you go by
first
then?
RO teammate, and it was like double dates as well. So us two, we were paired with Apex Twinkie and Crazy Monkey 7531.
You don't
Oh
see
yeah,
overlap?
my favorite.
Okay.
I love him.
Yeah. It wasn't very good. The saturation was horrible. When I was going into melee, like when I died, I was at 3 hunger bars and I couldn't sprint at all. And
Oh.
I ended up meleeing. I play ball. I think that's his IGN.
I
And,
play ball 9.
I play-
yeah.
That was back when I had
Underscore
horrible footage, like 10
Back
FPS looking
all the way
footage,
in the day.
like May 2016.
Okay. Next up, the Sonic Joey, if he's here.
Hello.
All right, what was your first round and how did you do?
First recording round I played, I was a guest for Giraffe Crafters 4, which is a round probably no one remembers because everyone likes to forget Giraffe Crafters 4. I
The
was
Sonic
teamed
heroes.
with TGMB1 in Kanako. We managed to, and we got unnerved strength 2 potions.
Oh
Yummy.
no!
We
Uh-oh.
steamrolled the entire game and won. I got 2 kills. I killed Braw 31 and K did. and we won. That's all you need to know.
Interesting.
There was actually nothing else to it. Oh yeah, and Stars didn't win. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Was that the first one he didn't win?
Yeah, it's the first one he didn't win, and then he won like I think 2 more after that. Still,
What a man.
All right.
yeah,
absolute
very
man.
boring. Very boring. I'm sorry.
Next up is it's me.
Although we don't care.
Wow.
I didn't even
So
open first.
Bobby, what was your first?
All right.
report?
So if we're going off first round, that wasn't.
Excuse
uploaded-
me?
What? It's me. I'm before you. What do you? If we're going off rounds that weren't uploaded, my first
want
round
bad
was a
fan
round I
players.
tried to organize called Fourth Wall, which it was.
What
it
is
was, It was
this?
pure random team. This was back in like 2014 or something. And my team was me, Happy Kirby, and Miles won baseball.
That is like
You
the
showed me that.
worst team.
So
Are
what
you
happened
sure
was
that's
is
a random
that
team?
I withered away, died first, ironically.
Wait, like Bulgers and Cube season 3?
There's nothing ironic about that. That's very
Anyway,
expected.
but my first round that was uploaded was Frenzy 1, in which I died first in that one too. But
You got a
it's
thing going
impossible.
there.
I just can't do well ever. By the way, we're having a surprise guest give his origins.
No, I
by
was
the way.
I was hoping he wouldn't join.
Oh,
Yeah.
who is it?
But Bobby, you're up next.
Oh, God.
I just saw who it is.
Bobby, you're next, by the way.
All right,
User
so
joined your channel.
It's sort of.
Oh,
You're gonna go last, sir,
I
for your
saw.
origins, by the way. You're
why
gonna
did he
go after Max.
spoil?
All right, Bobby, you're up.
Everybody.
Bobby,
Okay.
you're up. Say your origins, dude.
So my record round origins is the Split season 4, and I was teamed with Sean 08179, Mr. Sonic Fan, and Super Matt.
They were holding hands.
Don't do this.
And it was back when I got like 20 frames while recording. It was also shared health, and I was sharing health with Sean, and thank God he wasn't bad at PvE. Or else I would have made it as far as I did, getting second place. And then about a week later, I hop into the Ambition TeamSpeak, and then the Chicken Man is like, "Hey, buddy, you want to come play Ambition with me?" I was like, I guess." And then we play Ambition, and then Ambition gets released before the split, and people are like, "Wow, Bobby the Turtle!" And then the split gets released, and they're like, "Wow, Bobby the Turtle in this one too? What a recorded round whore!"
What?
If only it was
Take
that
in mind,
right.
this was like early 2016.
All right, so next up we have Frigid. What was your first
Oh.
round, and how did you do?
Alright, so my first round was Gala season 6.
That's
No, it
no way that
wasn't.
was your first round.
He nearly killed
Yeah.
Ginty. He's incredible.
And no, and I was teamed with Jelong Miner, and we won with 10
No,
kills each.
What?
I was team with Jelong Miner.
Frigid,
I have a feeling this is incorrect.
Frigid, what was
Yes.
your first round? What was
I
your
was
Alright,
with
so-
Rail Gwen, and he did not upload.
Yes, you were with
And neither
one,
did
I was
I.
with Jelong Miner.
Okay, Frigid,
Jelong
what was your
Miners,
Frigid,
the
what was your
Reddit.
first round?
Alright, so the first round. Okay, so let's actually go back to the very popular month, December 2015. So
my God.
Paper Bunny is like, I need to like this Frigid guy. He's pretty cool. I'm gonna give him a story referral. But then Mr. Sonic Fan, he saw an opportunity. He's like, I want an original player. So why don't I just add him without a vote? So I tried an agency. But then I'm like, Vinny and Sonic.
Frigid, for
hate
God's
this-
sakes, what was the
No,
first
they-
round you played?
They hate
I
the story
posted in
agency
TeamSpeak
overlap.
what it was.
Oh no!
Alright, good story.
Alright, they hate the overlap.
Very nice.
Frigid, I'm skipping you.
No, actually, let me finish. So I just asked Vinny if I could spec Story 4 as a joke.
God.
He
And?
muted.
What did he say?
Okay, no, he spec'd Story 4, and that was technically his first round he played, but the first round he ever played as a player was Agency 3. Moving on.
Thank
This is
you.
a mess.
Bad fan, what was your first round? How did you do?
Right, so my first recorded round was recorded on like the 20th of October 2015, I think it was, and it was Discovery Season 3. I was meant to play Discovery Season 2, but I was on holiday at the time. I was on holiday.
Like Tommy
and-
SX and Amelia, right?
Wow.
What?
I was on holiday at the time for Season 2, so I didn't get to play that one. But like, I downloaded TeamSpeak onto my iPad so that I could be there for the intro for season for the season, and that's why iPad fan that's why my account my iOS TeamSpeak account's nationality is Spanish. Because I was in Spain when I downloaded it. But yeah, I then got to play Season 3. It was pretty cool. I had the pretty lit team of Infinity_X, Kirito Yoshi, and Nathan Kaboom.
Oh,
It was a good time.
Iconic.
We finished second to Ember and Jep. They were a bit too good. They had like 10 golden apples each. I'm pretty sure I had to go for dinner, and then I came back, and my team had like used all of our healing, including all of mine that I gave them in case I never came back from dinner, which at the time was a possibility. Can't quite remember why, but I think I told them I don't know if I'll be back, so take everything good I own. And
Yeah.
horses were still on, like around that time, so I think we gave Kaboom a horse, and like he just rushed everyone on the horse and got us potions. It was a good time.
All right, Max.
Okay,
Here's the
so
thing with you. You get 2 minutes
what? Why?
because I know if I don't give you a certain amount of time, you will go on for hours. What was your first
quick
round? And how did
Quick
you do?
addendum.
Okay.
Frigid's first round was actually story 5, not agency 3.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
All right, Max. What was your first round?
Okay, so my first round that I ever played was recorded in September 2015. No, sorry, October 2015. Which was Pathfinder Season 1. Don't poke me. And I played that. It was my first like Reddit recorded round. I'd done some stuff before, dabbled in a couple non-Reddit rounds, but it was never anything too influential. And I knew Joe vaguely through another group, online group called the Minecraft War. I knew like Joe and Quill and a couple others, and I was invited to play that because Original Boy pops on the scene. And I played Pathfinder 1. I was teamed with, at the time he was Brownage HG and 18 Qs. Qs was first PvP death to Matthew, and then Brownage and I went on to kill. I killed Kanako and he killed Chicken Zaned, and then I died to fall damage while fighting Sid Garcia. So, good game.
All right, next up, the man of the hour.
The special guest, the Funky
Sir.
Monkey.
What was your first round and how'd you do?
Do you want like my first round only, or do you want like the few rounds before it that didn't go up that like,
Sure, you can
build
do
up
that if
to
you
it?
want. You can do that.
Okay. Well, the first one was in January of 2014. It was called, I think, Neurotic, and it was hosted by Golden Boy. And it was a moles team of 4, which I lasted till episode 3 and died, but the special quank about that season was that it was my new computer and I hadn't gotten it optimized yet, so my headset wouldn't work, so I had to use my phone for TeamSpeak the entire time. I had to like have it right next to my mouse and use my pinky to push the button because I used push to talk.
Jesus Christ.
That's awful.
Okay, awesome. And then, well, when Neurotic died, there came around, I think it was Deception, which was basically the original PPP group recorded round, which happened in, I think, February. It had a first take, which was a team of 4 moles again, and I think I was teamed with Chalkin, Banana Monster, and I don't remember the last dude, but I remember it was a moles game, and my mole told Grant my coordinates, and Grant came and killed me in my cave with 50 gold, and that's where we had our first argument, and that's where he met me, where he would invite me to my first round. But then there was a second take for Deception, which was a team of 2, where I was teamed with Mincrooved, and we went into the Nether 2 minutes in, where I had a leather helmet. I actually team killed him because I poured lava on him. And then I died 19 minutes into episode 1 because we had PvP on episode 1, and I died to fucking Golden Boy. And then after that came a round that almost got uploaded, but it just didn't. It was called USC Season 1 in March of 2014. It was basically just a cut clean recorded round, and it was team of 4 mystery team, and that's where I met, I think, Eero. And then from the Deception chat, Grant pulled over. He asked for 3 people, or like a bunch of people, to come over to Out of Orbit, so I think it was me, Swag Llama, and Cubed Heart. We were like the last 3 people added to the Out of Orbit scenes in one chat, and then that was my first recorded round where I teamed with Joe, and I made it to Ep3 after getting poisoned by a witch twice, and I died to a zombie because I got hit into a fence post and couldn't move, so that was pretty cool.
Anyway, so that's the origins of all of our guests. Sir, thanks for coming on, big man.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, so we do have one more topic, but it kind of doesn't work anymore because Badfan had to show up, you dumbass. But,
Can we do it anyways?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
So the last one is a tribute to O-Dog.
Oh, no. What?
So
What does that
anyone-
even mean?
Yeah,
Does
rest in
anyone
peace,
here
Double
have a
D.
favorite memory of O-Dog?
When
Who
I
the
backstabbed
fuck
him
is
in
O-Dog?
Survivor.
What do you mean, who the fuck is O-Dog?
Rest in
O-Dog,
peace, Edward the King.
O-Dog is
Smack-a-bitch.
in your recorded round.
did
O-Dog
not
is
just say
Owen,
that.
this boy right here.
Does anyone have like a favorite memory of O-Dog?
I remember this
Someone
one
must
time.
have one.
I've
Let's
killed him
all go-
twice. Does
Wait,
that count?
guys,
Let's
Sir's
go
telling
down
a
the
story about
line.
O-Dog.
This one time, Owen and I went to YMCA to play basketball, but we got locked in the locker room by the bigger kids, and it was pretty crazy.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about Owen Badfan or like?
Yes, Owen
Yes.
Badfan.
No, he's.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Sir is talking about like Owen. from
No,
Total
I was
Drama
talking
Island.
about Bad Fan.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm certain. I swear to God.
I remember this one time me and Sir had an alliance and then he shoved a fist up my ass.
Oh God!
Oh, dearie
Alright,
me.
well,
You say alliance,
I don't think
but
we need to
2
talk
minutes
about that.
after I came over to the team, you added Bobby and I to a chat and expected there to be an alliance. But I didn't want an alliance. I broke that apart as soon as possible. But then I didn't expect there to be 2 idols, so I got knocked out like a week later.
I think my favorite moment with O-Dog was when I met him in real life, and then we ordered pizza, and it was really romantic, and it was really sweet. And that's probably my favorite moment with O-Dog.
Well, you know
Unfortunately,
what?
Katie had to ruin the romantic moment by also being there, though.
You know what?
Yeah, fuck Katie.
We're gonna end this podcast here. Thanks
Oh,
for
we haven't
Bridget
all
wants me
given
to
our
say
favorite
OMG.
I don't
O-Dog
care.
moments.
I don't want to hear your stories about O-Dog.
My favorite O-Dog moment is when he attacked Shadenelli very violently, and I got very mad.
My favorite O-Dog moment is when I called his round a D-tier round.
My favorite O-Dog moment is when he asked for a vote for Lampoon.
No!
That's a good moment.
Iconic.
User disconnected from your channel.
He's gone.
Oh no, he left.
Okay,
Oh no.
Guys,
This
Well,
podcast is about to get galled so hard.
this is getting
Yeah.
redone.
Okay. Yeah. It's
No,
gonna be
it's not.
fun.
This is not going to be done. I promise you.
I'm not going through this again.
Yeah, no, we're done. All right. So anyway, Shooter, Peridot, Bobby, Frigid, Joey, Sir, thanks for all coming. It was a good podcast.
No problem.
Was it?
I didn't even like the tweet and I got in. That's how good I am.
No, honestly, if I'm being honest, I was a big fan of this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, and
been a
shout
fucking
out,
mess.
Shout out to Jacob. Sorry you couldn't make it, buddy. But...
Shout out to Jake.
Yeah. Shout out to Jacob.
All right.
Shout out to Jacob.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you
Yeah,
guys
Shaq.
in what, like 4 months? Or...
Yeah.
6?
Let's make
Next
it
week.
5. Just
Next
to-
week.
Let's make it 5, guys.
Sure.
That Miles got another kill.
Sir,
Tuesday.
next Tuesday, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
I was given a task.
I swear. You are at faggot.